Hello, hello. If the technology is helping us, I think we're live. So, good afternoon, good morning, good night. Oh, is that right, Vedant? What time is it here in India? But is it still? It's night. I mean, it's dark outside now. It's dark. Oh, pretty dark. So, Manas, hello. How are you? Very dark for you too. You share the same time zone as Yash. Hello, Yash. You three are iced tea, so not iced tea, but iced tea, Indian Standard Time. Am I right? We are something like 3.5 hours now, I think. It's 5 p.m. here in Spain, but we are also in the other part of the America continent with Ryan in the northern in Canada. Hello, Ryan. 8 a.m. for you. We appreciate you wake up for us and to share with our colleagues of the Liquid Galaxy community whatever content we are going to share today. Let me start with some specific question. As some of you know, I have the opportunity past week to attend a very large meeting we held in Europe. Google held the Google I/O Connect. Google does the main Congress for Developers in Mountain View, California, is the Google I/O. But then since last year, they also do some smaller events in other places of the world, in different time zones. And they are holding one in Europe last week in Berlin. We were in Berlin. I have some photos for you. If you guys on the meet want to see the photos, you have to go to the YouTube live streaming. There's gonna be, I think, 4 more events, maybe one in India. You're gonna have one in Bangalore. I think it's in Bangalore. There will be another in China or in Japan or in South America. Lots of them, 4 or 5 totally in the world. So Berlin was the first after the Mountain View one, and I had the opportunity to be there. So I'm gonna show some photos, but as I said, the photos are gonna be on the YouTube stream. I'm gonna explain the photos. So first photo, yeah, let's contents. It's me with mentor Alejandro, or Velvet mentor Alejandro, who is mentoring Oscar in the Play Store thing. Then we have another photo, and this is very important for the community. It's something we have to talk about. In the very beginning, the first keynote by Janine Banks, one VP of Google, introduced us to Gemma 2. Have you heard about Gemma 2, guys? You have to say yes. You have to inform. Vedant, yes. Do you heard about Gemma 2? Vedant? Sure, that's good. That's good. So Gemma 2 is on the photo. It's another model because in the specific session of Gemma, I asked a question to the speaker because it was not clear at the beginning. But we have Gemma and also we have Gemma 2. We have both, and every of those have 2 versions. Gemma 2 is having no billion parameters, and there is another Gemma 2 with 27 billion parameters. But still, I would say all versions of Gemma are also available. So there are 4 Gemmas now, and a few more. I will show. I think this is interesting for us because we can use the Gemma 2 that it's better trained for the projects, and it's the same size. Here is the photo of the main audience when Janine Banks started the keynote. We were something like 1,300 people, 600 of them from different Google communities in the world. And now at this moment, I am representing several communities, but you, Manas, are also in a community. What is your community, Manas? Your Google community? Good. So GDSCs and GTG. So there were, I will say, a few GDSCs and lots of GTGs and GDs. What else we have here in pictures? Oh yes, the other question I wanted to talk to you about, that because it's new and it can be interesting for us. I don't know if you are mentoring or doing a project, maybe Manas, because Ryan, I remember, is focused on the voice thing, but I don't remember yours, Manas. But at some point, we say to the students, to the contributors, that we have to try to do some reverse prompting using images. So what means that? Instead of sending a text, you send an image to the model, and the image is analyzed by the model, and then you can do things with the image instead of text. So Google presented a new version of Gemma called PalyGemma. It's on the screen now. It's 2 billion parameters, but totally specifically trained for vision. So you can use the general LLMs to do whatever you want and whatever they can, but this is specifically trained for this. So maybe at some point, with the projects we talk about, they have to have this functionality. We will try to use this PalyGemma. It's a nice thing. What else? Gemma 2 they show some comparisons with the other models, and in their own tests, everyone does the tests. It was curious because Gemma 2, it's faster in the 9 billion parameters than Gemma 3. Gemma 3, that it is, I would say, is more known, or I would say de facto standard in open source models, because Gemma arrived later to the thing, but Gemma was since the very beginning. So they are saying that Gemma 2 is faster and better than Gemma 3, and not as fast, of course, that like Grok, the version from X, from Twitter. But being an open source, it is very good, they say. What else? Gemma 2, you can use the same tooling as you are using now for Gemma. That's important. You don't have to reprogram anything. Keras, JAX, Python, transformers, and more. And then that's the thing. You can make prototypes using smaller models. And then at some point, if you need to use a large model, you go Gemini or whatever. And better documentation. This is good for us, for the projects that has some using Gemma models. So here is the address of the models, ii.google.dev/Gemma, and Gemma open models. Okay, here are some nice pictures. Here is me with an Android figure. Very nice. With the lake, they have a large lake for the people to walk around. Another interesting technology they presented, there were a few sessions talking about WebAI, and I'm showing a phrase that says hybrid WebAI could be a good starting point today, because you can use the tools inside web. You don't need to use any kind of external resources. And then at some point, of course, you will have to go to the cloud-based big LLMs. But to start, it is nice that they have this web version. And now I'm going to show you the students that are at this moment. This is not the whole team, but 1, 4, 6, 8, 9 students that are on the Liquid Galaxy Lab, helping in testing, controlling, and doing other stuffs in the Liquid Galaxy Lab regarding to the Google Summer of Code. So there are 8 guys and 1 girl doing things. Because, as you have to remember, today is July 2. And what happens on July 2, Manas? Exactly. This is the I think we have a problem. Hopefully you haven't you haven't talked too much, but I think the mic from the voice from your desktop was close. A fault of me on the streaming. Okay, so now I'm showing a few photos of the different Liquid Galaxy labs we have ready in the laboratories. The large one with 55 inches screens, and two other smaller ones with 24 inches screens and 32 inches screens, and different students are using the systems. And here is another photo, funny photo from Germany. It's mentor Victor and me on the supermarket getting some foods, and we're in the German soccer team, because Germany is crazy now with the Europe Cup, soccer Cup. It was funny. What else? We also recorded a few podcasts there. Here is one with the mentor Alfredo. Who's your mentor, Manas?
Mentor Alfredo, yes.
So with your mentor.
Yes.
Excuse me, but I didn't remember all the mentors. And also is mentor Irene. Irene is mentoring also Mahinour. And for you, Manas, Irene is the main mentor of GDSCs in Spain. So she's the one handling, mentoring all the groups. We have something like 15 GDSCs we have in Spain. And me. And the last photo I'm going to show is, oh yes, it's a huge photo where all the Spaniards in the Berlin event. We attended. There were something like 600 people from communities, I told you, and from 600 coming from many countries, 55 were Spaniards. We were always the largest community, and we are crazy guys. You will recognize here a mentor Alfredo, mentor. There has to be a few other mentors. Irene has to be in the picture. Me and Victor Carreras, a few ones. So this is what I wanted to explain to you. That we were in Berlin, that it was nice, and that for us, for the community, for the Liquid Galaxy, I think Gemma 2 is a very interesting thing. It's an open source model with better whatever speed and resolution and so on, and also the Gemma Pali, that it's a model that makes this kind of inferencing with images that at some point some of the projects that we are doing for artificial intelligence this year has to have this functionality. So nothing else on my side, and now it's turn of our sleepy colleague Ryan from Canada, Vancouver. Up to you.
All right. Can you hear me well?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I think a topic I was very, very interested in, which Andrew briefly just talked about, is the Google Gemma 2 that came out, I think, on June 27th. So it's actually not very long ago. I think maybe 5 days max. Yeah, to the public. So yeah, as Andrew mentioned, the model comes in the size of 9 billion and 27 billion parameters. Compared to the Gemma that we've been using until now, which had 2 billion and 7 billion parameter size options. So now it's many times more. But yeah, the model is designed to run very efficiently while significantly trying to reduce costs, maintain, and so it's able to maintain a high performance. And I think just the drastic change I think was interesting. I've personally not had a chance to use the model yet as of yet, but I think this just allows for more accessible AI deployments that people can use into their projects. And they said they have very easy ways to just integrate into cloud-based setups or even our local laptops like gaming or desktops. And yeah, soon they're going to make it easily deployable on Vertex AI, so they can use it on that as well. But I think just them releasing it under the Gemma license, I think just has like a lot of good benefits for everyone, just allowing anyone to integrate the model into any of their technologies or projects. So I think it's a very cool thing to have. I think this definitely ties into like us as Liquid Galaxy directly, because one of the features I'm building with my project is like the text-to-text feature using Grok for users to use when they're prompting stuff. So what is it? I think, yeah, one of the options currently is the Gemma 7B model. So I think if soon Grok also integrates it with Gemma 2, that's going to have a lot, hopefully, more accurate answers towards where users want to. And yeah, that may change a bit of like the prompt engineering parts that people have set, but I think overall it'll definitely benefit a lot of the responses that people get for their project. So hopefully that will, can be integrated to my voice-to-voice API. And
But I think Ryan, that these models still do not have the TTS functionality. Does they have this?
Yeah, I think it's just because it's released, but I think in a bit it can definitely, yeah. Yeah.
No, my question is they don't have it yet. Of course,
I don't think they have it
you
yet,
can use an external API. That is the thing you are preparing for the other projects, but at least it's not included. I mean, it's not truly multimodal like other ones, like maybe Gemini and others. So
yeah, I think just I think it's going to be integrated with Grok soon. So
yeah, they say that. They say that.
Yeah.
Grok so with a Q, not with a K.
Yeah.
The K version is the X1, and the Q version is the people from Mountain View Grok Incorporated.
Makes sense. Yeah, but I think with Grok it'll definitely help a lot, because I think a lot of people are trying to use that for their projects to kind of speed up their responses from the LLMs. So I'm hoping that can be integrated, so I can also give it a try and see how that goes. But just a very recent use, but I thought it'd be very interesting to talk about.
So what do you think, guys, about the using of Gemma 2? If you have had the opportunity to read about it, Yash or Vedant or Manas.
Actually, like I have tried using Gemma 2 model, the 9 billion one. Initially, like I tried to run it locally on my machine, but
with Olama or with what technology use?
Yes, I tried it using Olama, but it is a very huge model, even with using quantization. So I tried it on Limsys. There, like I tried my prompts. As far as testing is concerned, I think that it is giving some better tone to the output. So the general output is typically better when we get through the second model.
So the questions we were talking in the other meets about the models being so, I would say, hallucinated or false. So you think this new Gemma 2 improves that?
I think that we'll have to test it out on this local server itself to try and out how it will be working on using a less quantization.
I think you have a 3660 RTX, maybe.
Yes.
And you can fit in on a 3060. You can fit the 27 billion models.
No, it is not a. I don't have a desktop. I have a laptop 3060, so it is only 6 GB VRAM.
Okay. So because I told you I am thinking in getting a new RTX for the laboratories. The problem is that initially we don't have the budget, but I will try to find the money, at least to have maybe a 12 gigs VRAM for this. But I'm not pretty sure that this, even with 12 gigs, will run these 27 million models. I think they are not. So I'm still thinking about, because one curious thing I'm showing it on the screen now is that Google says that blazing fast inference about Gemma 2 across hardware is optimized to run at incredible speed across a range of hardware, and this includes try it on your home computer with NVIDIA RTX or GeForce RTX via Hugging Face transformers. Have you tried this?
Using what?
They say via Hugging Face transformers. It's something. It may be. I don't know to be true. It has to be some service from Hugging Faces.
Okay, so it is a .cpp file, right? Yeah, so we can like use llama.cpp or something similar to that to use it on our local machine. But the model size still is about for 4-bit quantization. It is about 5.4 GBs. So it should run on a 3060 desktop version, 12 GB RAM, the 9 billion one.
The 9 billion, you think that it should run in a 12 gigs?
12. Yes.
Okay, I have to make the decision. I've been taking a look at the what is available now. To be true, I wanted to get Bitcoin use RTX, a large one, but they have lag. I don't know if they are totally out of place. I remember something like a year there were a full market of use by Bitcoin people, but mining people, RTX. I will not say cheap, very cheap, but at least cheaper than now. No longer are available. I don't know if they are going to the artificial intelligence, all the machines available, all the cars. Let's see. Yeah. Any other one has an idea? I like your shirt, Vedant. You are always wearing the Galaxy one.
Yes, for the past podcast, yes, actually.
Okay, you see,
I wear them for most of the podcast.
Okay, I am having the artificial intelligence version of the logo. Yes, and what about you? We know you are a front end man, but have you tried any of these technologies?
Yeah, I do enjoy the 27 billion parameter. I just want to see that if someone tries it in their newer projects, and I will be seeing that. I'll be looking into that.
I'm not sure they're going to be trying. They're going to be trying using maybe if hopefully Grok releases the integrates the Gemma 2 on the API. So then using the code from Ryan, users will be able to select Gemma whatever or Gemma or Llama 3 or whatever to use the system. We'll see. I'm not sure that we will do that on the local machine. This year the technology is evolving so fast, but one thing is clear: if you want to use for real artificial intelligence, you have to go to the cloud, because if not, you need very huge machines, and even having a huge machine with a nice RTX, whatever TI version or whatever, they don't have enough power to run these enormous models. Okay, Ryan, so thank you very much for your comments, and we hope that your project that is near the point that you have to deliver, because we started today. Have you managed to send your app, your application already?
I have compiled all the files. I'll be adding it to the drive.
So today students are starting to send their own beta version of their projects. We already have 2, at least I think we have 2, and both have failed. They didn't send it right in the release version. They sent it on a local version, so bad. And we have all day long sending emails to all the contributors, just remembering you that you have to send it this way. If not, it will not work in the tablets for test, and not will be able to send it to a Play Store for beta testing. Okay, Yash, what about you?
So I'll be talking about the policies about the Play Store, and I hope that people who are just submitting do not submit their debug version, they do it with their release version, and also that they do care about sending it in a way that it supports only the tablets. So yeah, I had to dive deeper into that, and I saw that there was some supports attribute in the manifest that was missing out. So yeah, I'll be talking about that.
So maybe can you share your screen? Maybe I don't know. You told me before that you are gonna have some slides. I don't know. You have them ready?
Not exactly slides. I just have the images actually. So
could you please send me the images by WhatsApp?
Yeah, I'll be sending.
And then I will share on the screen, because if not, the meet are send the images, and I will show the images next to us, and this is better. So Vedant, tell us a joke. In the meantime, an India joke.
A joke. Actually, I'm not.
You're bad at jokes. You're bad at jokes.
But that's something really interesting I was, trying to say. I actually, it's really a coincidence. Just before this, I was watching a video by a Chrome developer, Adi Osmani. He was talking about web LLMs. Okay, so there are two ways, right? First, there is the LLM will run on cloud. Then the LLM will run open source LLMs on your system. But there's a third way in which they run the LLM on the browser itself using the web GPU.
Yeah, this
so it's very interesting.
This is what I say, that they call it web AI. Then you can run in the local thing and try to use it. Try, because it's gonna be hard. But I think it's a not for this year. We are very focused on the Flutter stuff, but maybe it's something we got to test later. So Yash, we have your thing on the screen. It is the device catalog. So to be clear, you're gonna try to help students, contributors on the thing that we are having this problem today. Again. Let me talk again. We have to develop the applications for a tablet, not for a phone, 10 inches, horizontal. And students do other stuff. What's the problem and how we can solve this?
So yeah, first let's look at the problem. So you know that Play Store will obviously test the application, and they will test it on all the devices possible.
19,000 they say. 19,000 devices.
So you know that they have it all set up for all the different sizes, and they will try to take those snapshots, and they will test out those snapshots if the things are, I would say, responsive to those designs. And if they are not, obviously the app will get rejected. And that thing is usually tested by some bot. But actually you can tell the sizes that you want your app to be tested on, or you can actually tell it by just adding a small line to your Android manifest. So yeah, I think the small line would be visible to your screen. So that is just a support tag that is in XML. So you can just specify that you want to make it visible for the large screens. You are making it for the tablets only, and not make it for the smaller screens or for the mobile devices. And if you will do that, then if you will publish the application and go to that device catalog, it will automatically filter out all the devices that fall into that particular large screen category. So yeah, that way you will have it all done, and you will be able to test it out safely, and you will get your app passed through these particular stages.
So do you think that this totally clears the students? I mean, they are gonna send the right thing after this. And I don't have it sure. I mean, Manas, maybe you can help here too. So what do you get from just explanation, and what is your approach personally on the project?
For my current project,
your current project is also gonna have
so basically what I get is adding that XML tag to my Android manifest file will allow me to sort out the devices which are going to be supported by my application. So including that tag will avoid causing issues by the bot.
And this is it.
Yeah, and this is it. It is just a small fix that will allow you to be tested on the only tablets, and it will allow you to get passed on all these testing phases for your application. So yeah, and there are also some other key steps that do not forget to provide all the small key values, whatever that we have to add. You know that Chrome, the policies by Play Store only support up to 5 instructions, and it was previously discussed as well. So make sure to add those, and yeah, make sure to send the release version. That is the bottom line here.
So hopefully, with your whatever the slides you're gonna send me today, I hope that this will be clear, because as I said, there are plenty of students having problems. My I would say fear is that they are gonna still send us the applications in bad shape, and this is the reason we start early to receive the betas and so on. Other years we started late in August, and then suddenly we have only a few weeks, and it was a total mess. So it's gonna be best if we all students, us, mentors, everyone on the test team have the information to have it right. So thank you for preparing this information, and when we have your final information, we will send it to all the students. And the point is that we hope they have it clear, because always this makes a problem for us to testing. Applications do not work, and then when we elevate it to the Play Store, also there are some trouble. So hopefully, what else you want to talk about, Yash?
Yeah, so yeah, that was more or less everything I wanted to talk about. Always make sure that you are following all the policies, and do remember that they keep on changing. Just do not use any deprecated code from the previous years. Try to use things that are recent. So even if we go to these like next 1 or 2 weeks or next one month, then it is not like that something has been deprecated into that future and you are now getting some problems or some crashes that you weren't getting 1 month before. So yeah, just make sure of that.
Yeah. Okay. So nothing else from your side?
Yeah, that was all.
Okay. Thank you very much, and I hope you can send us today or tonight, because for you it's almost 9 p.m.
Yeah,
But make it short. I understand from your words and from Mana's words, I understand this is simple. So with these 2 attachments, make it clear, because we need to send it as soon as possible to the contributors. Thank you. So Vedant, or Poet, is your thing.
Yes. Okay. And by the way,
I want to inspire you. 1 second. This is not prepared. You 3 Indians are gonna smile now. Ryan, you know what's that? Who's this? Ryan, open your mic.
Yeah, definitely. I can't remember the name of it, but definitely. No.
Manas,
Yeah,
what's this?
It's a Ganesh idol.
And what's this?
DT.
What is?
God.
It's a god. One of the many gods you have in India.
Yeah.
Mentor Vedant sent it to me last year. I appreciate it. It's very nice. It's here next to me. I don't know what was the main thing about this, Vedant. What is this?
he brings good luck. So if you're starting something new,
good luck.
It would be very good to.
That's perfect. Good luck. It's always good to have good luck. Let me pass it to Yash. Yash, you need that too. Pick it.
I hope on your visit you get more of these idols to bring home.
Hopefully. So, Vedant, what do you want to inspire the community today?
And also, by the way, I just remembered a joke. So should I?
An Indian joke.
Yes, but
Ryan and me will be able
is,
to understand if it's an Indian joke.
Okay, yes, I'll try, but I don't know if it will sound as funny in English.
Go.
Okay, I'll go for it. So in India, brothers usually fight for property, right? So is it common there in Spain and Canada?
You're muted, Ryan.
Common? I don't think so. No.
Go explain, Vedant.
Okay, so in India, there's this thing where brothers usually fight for property when they grow up. Okay, so they fight whether it's land or house, irrespective. They fight that I want this, yeah, you take this, or I want the bigger portion of the property. Then once what happened was two brothers were fighting for property as usual, and one brother sued the other brother. Okay, in the court, and when they were investigating the entire issue, they realized that the entire village is on illegal land. So now both the brothers are together and the village is against them. So that's the joke. I don't know if this one.
I am trying to understand.
It's simple. They tried to sue each other, but the entire village was on illegal land. While investigating,
so no one keeps nothing because it was illegal.
Yes, and now both the brothers are together against the village. So it's versus the village.
Well, it's a very curious joke. In Spain, at least, of course, people fights for this, but no one will understand this joke. Okay, so what is your content, Vedant? You want to share with us today?
Yes. Okay. So I'll be talking about a very interesting topic, and I believe this will be very helpful for the current contributors, upcoming developers, everyone, as AI is gaining traction with time. Okay. So I'll be talking about vector databases. Okay. So let's talk about development. Okay. Many people, like, for example, I had a meeting with mentor Prayas. He is my co-mentor. So what happened was, earlier he used to avoid AI completely. Okay, he was like, I'll be into Android development. I'm good for it. I don't want to get into AI and I don't want to get into the maths and stuff. It all messes with my brain. So this was a statement which he stated last year. But in yesterday's meet, he mentioned that, he is getting left behind with AI and everything is going very fast. So he also has to learn with it. And I also have a friend who is in finance who wants to learn AI. So he's asking me for resources.
It's curious. I have a breakfast this morning with two colleagues, and it was exactly the same situation. And do you know what we are talking about? That is it still early? Things are happening so fast, and then the worst thing is that as most people think that the LLM's technology is AI, and that's not true. This is only a piece. The piece that everyone is talking about now, but it's not. It's only a piece of the puzzle. So the problem is that all the LLMs hallucinate. So all the way they are lying us. Then you have to be the one correcting the LLMs. So you told me that 2 + 2 is 5? No, man, this is 4. Yeah, I was wrong. Sorry. The answer is 3. I say 4, not 3. Excuse me, it's 4. I'm simplifying it, but this is happening at least most people all the time long. So it's very bad. So continue.
Yes. So maybe we find a solution for this while I'm talking, because it's very related. Okay. So many people think that mathematics is very, very, very important and you have to be very good at mathematics. It's not the case, actually. That is if you are in machine learning. Okay, if you are an application developer, in AI application developer, you don't have to be very good, although you must know a little basic mathematics. Okay. So for AI application development, okay, while developing AI applications, you won't simply put in a chat GPT, call the chat GPT API and put in an input box for the user, right? Then why would the user come to you? He or she will directly go to chat GPT, right? So you have to make AI applications, and those are usually made using LangChain. Okay. So there's this thing called RAG. Okay. So RAG allows you to have your own large corpus of data. Okay. So for example, while talking about AI application development, you might have seen private GPTs or some tools which allow you to upload a PDF and then allow you to talk to the LLM, which talks to the PDF directly. Okay, and the data in the PDF is used. Then there are YouTube video summarizers. Okay, you just have to enter the YouTube video link, then it will be transcribed into a document, and which you can directly query or prompt. So that's what you call RAG. Okay, it is retrieval augmented generation. So could you pull up the first image on the screen?
We have already. No, it is already. No, you don't have to share anything.
Okay.
It's already on the screen. What means RAG?
Okay.
There is a
Okay.
scheme showing that the prompt goes to the document, retrieve documents to the LLM, and then the response, mixing both things. Are you seeing it?
Right. Yes. Yes. Okay, right. So I will say it pretty simple in pretty simple words. Usually what happens is when you prompt an LLM, it will run. Okay, it will go and find whatever data there is in the data on which the LLM is trained. Okay, so that's one thing. But while developing applications, you can't really train on everything, right? When you want to train, because if there are use cases where there is an enterprise LLM where you want to work on confidential data or your local data, which is not really available on the web, or if you want up-to-date information, if there is a cutoff date in the current LLM you are using, and if you want up-to-date information, then you can use RAG, right? So in RAG, what happens is when you prompt the LLM, it will not go directly to the LLM. Okay, it will go to the database. Okay, it is called a vector database, which I'll be explaining later on, so don't worry about that. Okay, so it will go to the database. Okay, so it will search for the answer for the question in the database. Okay, and it will take the data which is there, which is very similar to the question. Okay, which potentially might be the answer to that question, and it takes the data and the question and then prompts the LLM and then gives you the reply. So that's how RAG works, and that's how let's say we have a Liquid Galaxy Discord, right? So what we can do is get everything on a vector database, and we can ask anything for, let's say, whoever replied the most or whoever is most active, something like that. Or there are infinite number of use cases, right? So let's get into vector databases. So what is a vector, first of all? So it is simply a numerical array. Okay, more or less like coordinates. If you are a contributor, so you might know that while working with geolocation as well, coordinates are like latitude comma longitude, right? So that's a two-dimensional array or two-dimensional vector. But while talking about vectors here, in our case, we're talking about multi-dimensional vectors. Okay, so there are not 2 or 3 dimension vectors. There may be 200 dimensions. Or talking about the OpenAI API for embedding model, it's around 1500 dimensions. So each vector is around 1500 dimensions. So it's very large. And there's also a picture imagining it from Fireship. Full credit to Fireship, but it's not really legit. I mean, you can't really imagine that number of dimensions in a picture, right? So that's just an imaginary picture. Maybe you might get an idea from it. Okay, so that's what a vector is. Okay, and the next thing was an embedding model. Okay, so what happens is when you have text, okay, it's a large language model, so it will probably be natural language. Okay, when you have a text, it goes into an embedding model. So an embedding model, it uses several embedding algorithms. That is the part where the ML engineer who deals with a lot of mathematics comes in. Okay, so you don't have to deal with it as long as you are an AI application engineer. So that embedding model converts that text into a vector. Okay, so irrespective of whatever the size of the text is, it will be converted into 15 100 or whatever the dimension is. Okay, and then let's say, for example, let's assume a case where we have 1000 sentences in a database. Okay, so and if we send it to an embedding model, there will be 1000 vectors. Okay, each let's say we have 1500 of the embedded dimensions. Okay, so each vector will have 1500 elements in it. Okay, so that's one thing. And what happens is, in a vector database or a vector embedding, is that these vectors are collected in clusters. Okay, so the most similar ones will be all together. Okay, so let's say you talk about a dog in the question, right? I understand that the topic is a bit, no, actually the topic is simple, but I am, it's getting a bit complex.
I'm showing some pictures on the screen that explains a little bit more of what are you talking about.
Okay, that's great. Okay, great. Okay, so, okay, where was I? Yes, okay. So if we're talking about the dog in the question, okay, so the query will be such that it will find the most similar sentences or vectors which are related to a dog. So even if there's not a dog, but a reference to a dog, but not the literal string dog, there will still be a reference to it, and it will return that sentence. Okay, so that's how it works. So it works in similarity. So there are a few embeddings. I'll tell you about the flow of RAG. Okay, so what happens while building an application? Okay, you have data. Okay, so you can use any, let's say we had an example, right, of 1000 sentences. Okay, so let's assume that example for the entire time I'll be talking. Okay, so let's say you have 1000 sentences. You send it to an embedding model. So that will be converted into vectors. Okay, so now this embedding algorithm can be anything. Okay, you can have another open source or any library you can use. If you use an API, there's an OpenAI API which converts it to the vectors. Okay, it's an embedding API. Okay, then it is stored in vector stores. Okay, this can be stored locally. Okay, and the thing is, these things are very fast because I told you these are stored in clusters, right? So there is a similarity search, right? So the most basic thing you would think about is, let's say you search about dog. Okay, and what will happen is that dog will convert it, that your question or your prompt will be converted into a vector. Okay, then it will be matched with each of the vectors as it is a multi-dimensional space. Okay, it will be matched using let's say Euclidean distance to find the shortest distance, and depending on that there will be similar sentences, and that would be one approach to it. This approach works usually in cases where you have a small data store, right? Because it has a complexity of a big of n, right? It has a linear complexity. So if the data store grows, there will be more and more problem for you, and it will be more slow. Okay, and then it is a complete exhaustive search using Euclidean distance. Okay, 1 second. So that's how the model searches for similar sentences in the data store, and then takes that data, concatenates it with the question, and then sends it to LLM. This is one approach. But the faster approach is where Spice comes in. It's created by Facebook AI Research. Okay, so there's a different approach of trying to find similarity searches. Okay, so in this case, what happens is that can you show the clustering picture on the screen. That would be very important for this.
Which one?
So what happens?
Which one?
The last one. The last one.
The last one
Clustering. Where there are several
from the document.
script. Yes.
Could you please send it to WhatsApp, because I can take it now at this moment.
Okay, 1 second. Just a
Problem
second.
is that I have the when I'm, if you can, I will be able
No
to.
issues. Just a second. Okay, just a second. As I'm doing it as I'm speaking. 1 second.
Yeah, let me try to go down with this. Manas, have you tried or used any of these technologies on your project? Because I remember you and Mahinour and maybe any other contributors have been trying or are gonna introduce incorporate this thing of RAG, or I'm sure not about vector databases embedding. You correct me, but explain. Have you tried or used this approach in your project?
I have not actually like completely used the same RAG approach, like embeddings and etc. Because as also like confirmed that day, like Gemma model generally relies on context as compared to like the embeddings. Mostly, if you are like having high computing power and more amount of data, then it can be more useful. So I am like just working on the context. So I will be searching for a city's name, then I will add the context to the prompt, and then the facts will be generated.
But
That will be
and you are not using any kind of RAG. You are not sending.
It is not RAG, but I am like going to send extra text from like extracting web pages and then sending that data to the Gemma model directly.
This is what you did. You did something like a web scraping of 100 cities. Is that right? And then you will add this
Yes.
information to the prompt.
Yes.
It's not exactly RAG, something similar.
Yes.
1 second, Vedant. Now the clustering image is on the screen. You can talk.
Okay, yes. So the reason why vector databases are so fast in terms of similarity search, okay, so when you search for something, let's say you're searching for a dog, the same example, what will happen is it will try to search for the clusters. First of all, it will narrow down the database, okay? So if there are 1,000 entries, okay, it will narrow down into, let's say, 100 clusters, okay, and for each cluster there will be a centroid is like the most central part of a cluster from which every point is at a minimum distance, okay, so that's a centroid. So there will be let's say 100 centroid and the clusters around it. So if you have a word, okay, it will be converted into a vector, and depending on where the location of that vector is, in which centroid, in which cluster, then that cluster entirely will be, only that cluster will be searched. Okay, so this is very useful while searching, and it is very fast. Okay, and then apart from that, there is also another approach which is even faster, where each vector is divided into sub vectors, but it is a bit complex. But we don't really need to get into it because this is the most used one. Okay, and now what's happening is vector databases are growing. Okay, so there was SQL database, relational databases, object-based databases, but now vector databases are growing rapidly. Okay, recently there were millions of funding which was given to vector database companies. I'll just name some. Okay, so there is Pinecone, which is closed source. But it's really good. Okay, all you have to do while you are using it is just send the data. That's it. You don't even have to configure anything. You don't even have to. The only thing you have to do is just make an API key. That's it. Just generate an API key. Okay, and put it in your code. That's it. And then simply send the data. That's Pinecone, which is closed source. Then there is VV8 and Chroma, which is open source. Okay, all of these companies, they've landed a huge funding. Okay, in the past year, and I believe it is growing, and people will definitely have to learn it with time. So just mentioning that. Okay, just please learn it.
So
and that's it. Yes.
okay, so I was showing the picture of the SQL, NoSQL versus vector, and with the three names you say. Let's take this down to the project, to the community, Vedant. So you talk about two different technologies. One is embeddings, the other one RAG embeddings, and storing the thing in vector databases just for fast access, because those are stored in clusters, so are faster search over the clusters, and even if they have subclusters, it will be faster ever. How we can use this, or it has sense to use any of these technologies with the actual projects, or maybe for the future?
Okay, so the entire objective of all this vector database is because LLMs are growing, and I mean there are several use cases. Even if we are working with images or vision, even then it can be useful. But with the growth of AI, this is specially made for AI models, or you can talk for, let's say, large language models. This is especially made for them. So if the use case in our case would be, let's say we want to access data which is not very accurate on the model, which we are facing hallucination, right?
Of course, this is something you add to, because the model is so generalist. It can be very huge. It can have 400 trillion parameters, but it will have not your corner around the street with the food place you want to go. So, do you know if there are some? Okay, there are some tools, there are some vector databases, the three names you say that were open source, and you say that they are pouring money over them to grow that stuff. But my question has to be, do you think, and I'm making the question for all of you, even for Ryan. Ryan, come here, come back to us. Some people will have already some databases already made on vectors for some things, maybe by a research paper or whatever. I'm thinking, imagine Mana's project, that someone has the web scraping he did with the 100 cities, but with 1 million cities stored already on a vector database. So we will ask Gemini whatever, but next to this we will have the embedding to the vector database. Am I right? Specifically with the information about cities, whatever information we want to use. Being everything, being tourists, being food, being whatever.
And by the way, I wanted to mention one thing, that vector databases, of course, if we are having local data store, then that's very good. But RAG can also be used if we want to extract data directly from the internet itself. Okay, so if there is an internet source, we can take data from it. So RAG can be used in that case as well.
My question, Vedant, was, can we arrange a project with some students or contributors? I'm not saying now because we are pretty busy on GSoC, but maybe starting after the craziness of this GSoC, and we can do the year round things on the community. Something like having a vector database filled of contents that can be add later to a prompt in embedding RAG or whatever is the system.
100%.
So for example,
100%.
Manas, where you have stored this? How is stored this information you scrap? It's XML.
I'm not storing the information. I'm just like getting the information every time. Because
but you have the information in some place. It may be text files. You have it somewhere because you have 100 cities, or not?
No. What I've done is after every request which is sent to the Flask app, then the Flask app then extracts the data, and then that data is directly sent to the model. So I'm not like storing the data. I'm just getting the data.
Okay. You are just sending it to. Okay, but the question was, maybe I'm taking notes of this. Maybe in the future we can if this technology of the embeddings goes on and so on, and the vector databases, we can just assign for a project to a contributor, like doing I imagine something like doing a web scraping or whatever of a huge database with cities information or with any kind of information database that has coordinates, maybe just simple Wikipedia or many other databases, and store this on a vector database ready for being used for this system for the Liquid Galaxy. And you say, Vedant, that this can be stored locally.
Yes, definitely, it can be stored locally. Yes.
So we can have, imagine a database of the nicest 1,000 cities in the world with several informations about each city stored in a local vector database, and then when the user makes the search, we add an embedding to this or in RAG or whatever system. The search is being done in the vector database and then sent to the LLM.
Yes. So let's say for that we have an Excel sheet. Okay, we have a sheet. Okay, that's all we need. Okay, that's our data store. Okay, then it can be converted into a vector data store by the embedding model. Okay, this is a one-time job, and then every time when we try to prompt the LLM, then every time we have to convert it to a vector store. To a vector. So
every time.
if we are, yes, because if we are doing this, then the search will also be converted into vectors. Okay, so then we have to implement RAG irrespective of the case.
Okay, I got the point. Okay, nice. I'm thinking this about using it in the future. This is a learning path for all of us, of technologies and use cases. We will think about using this in future projects. So, thank you. Vedant, any of you have comments on this? Ryan? No?
Also, 1 second, can I say something? Manas,
Sure.
I remember last time in the AI meet, you mentioned that you have made a data set for places, right? So that can maybe be a starting point, right?
Vedant, I'm talking all the times about this. Man, are you sleepy? I'm talking about this. Manas did already this thing.
Yes, but he didn't mention when asked, right? He said that he's using the Flask app and directly fetching data. He didn't mention about the data set, so that can be maybe a starting point.
You did
right?
Some web scraping, I remember, or not?
I have already created a data set, but the issue is for some big cities like Mumbai, for example, the size of the page is very large. So it exceeds the character context limit and the overall size of the prompt. So for that, I'm just.
What is the size in Gemma?
I think if we use Olama, it is 8,000.
8,000
context size.
Did you use Olama? Okay.
Yes.
It's a small. Small prompt. Okay. Context window. Okay. Let's keep the idea, and then in November we will talk about this. And from November, from there, maybe Ryan's project is magical, and we just can interact with the machine, telling things with our lovely voice, and all the things will happen behind, without no one making the code. So you wanted to say something, Manas?
Yes. The one thing that mentor Vedant also mentioned is vector databases, but there is one more type of data storage which can be used, that is knowledge graphs. So knowledge graphs are generally used when we want to have some context for the data. So for example, if there is a document which you have and you want to ask it a question, for example, it is about who is his friend, for example, it's a random, who is Manas's friend. If that data is not directly available in the vector database, then the context is not usually present in the embeddings. So for that, it just searches for Manas and all other similar embeddings and conjures up an answer. But if we have a knowledge graph, then what it does is it adds all the relative entities and relationships between all the different entities. So we get accurate and more we have the context. The context of the text is always preserved. So that can be useful in our context, when we are talking about cities, then what all places of attraction, tourist spots, etc., that can be like associated in a knowledge graph.
Yeah. I'm showing some images because that's true. That's another way of doing that thing, another technology. I don't know who's... Vedant, you can talk. Don't raise your hand. You're a senior mentor. You can interrupt me whenever you want. Just be polite.
Yes, so in this case, I believe even vector databases are very useful. I would not say that's a drawback of vector databases because, as I told you, even if you are searching for a dog in the vector database and the literal string dog is not present, it will still be, it will still find out all the data which is connected to the sentence. How? So, in a very simple example, if you use cosine similarity search, it's an XYZ formula. Okay, that's not important. What it does is it finds the angle in which the data is pointing, right? So if in very, very simple words, if there is a point, okay, if it is talking about friends, as you gave me an example, okay, it will point in this direction in your right side. This is a very basic example. This is not how it literally works. Okay, so if it points in the right direction, and if you are asking about a friend or something like that, right? If it even points at this direction, okay, a little on the upper part, it will still be in the same cluster, okay? And that's how context is detected, okay? So since there are clusters, irrespective of whether there is a string literal search or not, the most similar context will always be detected, and that's how it will be used for LLMs, right?
Yes, I was like just talking about it. I just give a basic example. The fact I was referring to for knowledge graphs is if we have like very complex and complex queries or complex prompts which we are asking to the document, then generally knowledge graphs give a more accurate response as compared to vector databases.
I'm gonna do the Vedant thing. May I talk? So guys, let me make you a personal question. Yes, let's go back 1 year, only 1 year. Starting GSoC last year. Some of you were on the project, or you were whatever course in your university, or whatever place or moment in your life. All the conversation we are having at this moment, we can realize this can be happened only 1 year ago. I don't imagine. So, for example, with Vedant's project, we were talking about the thing about the AI servers, doing the Docker thing, doing the same more or less thing that Ryan is doing this year, starting to use the Bark LLM to. Well, it was not an LLM to be true, the model for synthesizing voices. So, all of these things we are talking about, the knowledge graphs, the RAG, the LLMs. So only 1 year ago we didn't have this. We can have this conversation. So the point is also, where are we heading for next year? This is crazy. I mean, the technology is evolving so fast, and there are newcomers every day. I would say, new technologies, new mixing of technologies. The knowledge graph is something very old, and then suddenly on the vector databases is not a new invention, and then suddenly they invent how to interact all the things. So we are living a very curious time. So Yash is already working. I don't remember. You Manas are just studying. You are not working now. Manas?
No, I'm not working.
And you Vedant?
No, I'm not working.
So the only working here guy is Yash. I do, but I work in another question. So the question is that I wanted to say, talking about the community, is that it has to be, I would say, a little bit difficult for you as a student to focus on what to learn, on how to ride this, I would say, this hype or this AI wave. I'm gonna leave the AI here because it's so fast, so deep, so intense. But the point is that Yash, when Yash and his boss also mentor of the community Merul or the other staff they have at the company. When you have to deal with a client and the client is listening all day long in the internet, seeing TikToks, doing stupid things, talking about artificial intelligence. The client says, "Okay, I want to have artificial intelligence doing my project," and you have to be the one approaching the reality of the technology to the real world. We are having I'm not going to say hard times, but curious times. So it's going to be. Do you guys do something related to this technology on your company?
So we did do chatbots, and there were many clients also that were interested in integrating chatbots that were using some sort of LLMs.
Well, chatbots are easy and not as difficult. I mean about the technology, not about the results. The results of the chatbots are always disaster. I don't know if you have read.
Yeah.
Maybe Ryan, it's nearer to you. Have you listened about the point of IBM with McDonald's in US? What happens with the chatbot?
McDonald's,
IBM, chatbox, US. Do you know anything? I know you are in Canada, but it's nearer than us. Do you know anything?
AI drive-through deal.
So
I did.
Yeah, go.
Oh no, I did hear about a case of like Air Canada that had a chatbot that recently released, and then it gave the customer wrong information, and they got sued, and they took it.
So IBM developed for McDonald's.
Mhm.
Let me double check because
They just ended it too a few weeks ago.
Yes, I just Google it. Yeah.
so McDonald's will stop testing AI to take drive-through orders for now. So it was made with IBM technology, and the problem is that you stay on the car in front of the mic and you say, "I want one Big Mac, 2 Cokes, potatoes, and I don't know what," and the machine, the chatbot returns to you, "Okay, you want this, and also suddenly the machine adds some, and you want also 100 ice creams, and you say, "I didn't ask you for 100 ice creams." "Yes, so I will give you 200. So enormous quantities of products that the machine just add to your list, to your order, and everything was. So they stopped the service. It was funny. I'm gonna show the Verge, a page that you have to read if you don't do. Very nice, guys. McDonald's will stop testing AI to take drive-through orders for now and for some time, because if you order something simple, you can get a very big order. And also the thing was that it seems that there were some people in Philippines doing the overview. So they thought that they has hired an artificial intelligence chatbot to do this, but it seems that there were people in Philippines doing the stuff remotely. So it's a curious times we are living. So, Manas, what do you want to talk about? You're the last.
Yes, so I'll be talking about ethical challenges and concerns when we are going to use AI in our daily life or in our applications.
Okay.
So as it was clear by our discussions up till now that AI is like revolutionizing various sectors, like from education to healthcare to finance, all the sectors it has already conquered. So the main thing is using AI, many people can have some ill effect on for example, if a company like IBM, we can say, if there is a wrong order which is placed in McDonald's, it can have a wrong image for McDonald's or IBM itself. So this is a very important issue which has to be taken into consideration. There are many different factors which are included in ethics of AI. The first one being bias and discrimination. So AI systems are generally trained on massive amounts of data, generally most of which is web scraped, and also embeddings, as described earlier. So this data generally contains some societal biases like gender, racial, etc. So this biases can become ingrained in an AI algorithm, so which can like further amplify the discriminatory or unfair outcomes which were happening earlier. So, for example, if there is a company which has to hire some candidates, so they apply an AI algorithm, AI model to analyze their resumes. But if it is like trained on resumes of past hires, then they can only look for some particular genders or racial biases which were present earlier, and using that, some like actually deserving candidates would not get through. So this is a genuine problem there. So to mitigate this, like one of the crucial steps can be to like have a diverse and representative data set overall and then implement like thorough testing to identify the biases in the models. One more point which can be explained is accountability. So AI systems or AI models generally operate as black boxes because we don't know what they are thinking through or what is the process of their final solution. So this can make like the accountability and transparency between the customers and the actual AI models a bit complex. So for example, in like very critical domains like the healthcare sector or in autonomous vehicles like Tesla, etc., it is it is very vital to have like a certain degree of accountability there, to know like how the decisions are made and who bears the responsibility for them. So we need to have like some sort of measure taken for this. So like currently there are like, to mitigate this also, explainable AI models are introduced, which like establish like clear guidelines on how accountability can like help address all these like the decision making processes. The next one is privacy and surveillance. So as far as like privacy is considered, the AI model is often like trained on large volumes of data, most of which is personal data of different users across the internet. So this data, which is accessed by the AI models, has like severe like privacy concerns. So it can, for example, if an AI model is used in a social networking site, like let's say Facebook or Instagram, it monitors the individual's behaviors, his or her preferences, their personal information, which can lead to potential misuse, like sharing of the data, like which is what is happening currently. Like we get targeted advertisements in most of our browsers, which is through the access of data. So and also in surveillance, we can like for face detection robots, etc., in some countries they use those to monitor the people of their country, so it can like cause some issues with consent as well. So we need to like implement some robust data protection mechanisms there, to have like a separation between where the data is being used for AI and it is not, it is a personal data. And the next, which is I think is a huge concern for the job market today, is job displacement. So AI automation of various different tasks, like from writers to music creation as well, as we have seen now, can like displace a significant number of jobs. So those who are like involved in making those repetitive tasks can be easily like removed from the job and replaced with AI, so without having any like cost cost deficits there. So we should have like, it is essential to implement some policies to support the workforce as well, like to training for new types of employment, etc. The next point I'd like to make is creativity and ownership. So like when a painter, like for example, in the old times, the painters used to paint their paintings, but those paintings were generally like named to them. But in the era of AI, what we can do is we can go on Dolly or etc., similar websites, and we can like just ask for a painting. So who is the one in charge there? Like, am I the owner of the painting because I have prompted it, or is the company who has made it in the has the infringement copyright for it? So this is all a gray area currently. We don't know who owns the AI generated art, who can use it for their own monetary purpose. So it is clearly we have to like set up some guidelines, etc., to navigate this infringements and etc. Also, ethical decision making. So making decisions in various such scenarios, like for example I mentioned earlier, autonomous vehicles. So to avoid potential accidents or etc., we need to have something which is consulted, like for example ethicists and technologists and policymakers. Generally what they can be involved in the process of training the AI model which is used in such scenarios to help with the ethical concerns there. Also consent. So having a policy that the user should know where the data is being accessed from, that is also very important. So having the user will know which of their data is being used for the training purposes. So for example, even Gemini now, they give a disclaimer there that the data which you will be the chatting data which you will be using with the model will be used for training purpose of the Gemini. So this can be helpful to build trust between the different stakeholders, and also it can help clear out the potential misuse of data. So this was overall what I had to talk about ethical concerns and challenges,
So
and
you
how we
make
can
a
fix
you
them.
make a. I'm gonna make a joke. AI joke. You just go get ChatGPT and ask, make me a brief of the typical concerns with AI at this time, and those are right. Manas, let's have a little conversation about this. For example, our colleague Ryan, that is still awakening in Canada. Something that has happened this year recently, only a month ago, with voices. That is your thing in AI with the Liquid Galaxy. Do you remember what happened with voices? Only a month ago. I'm talking about the Manas explained the different problems, and he talks about the right paintings, for example. But I'm talking about voices. An idea, Ryan? What happened about a month ago with OpenAI? I'm getting you another tip. OpenAI.
That's the I think the it was Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, I know you are informed. You just need a tip. So this is the point. Now what happened, Ryan?
I think Scarlett. So what happened was, like, initially I think OpenAI asked Scarlett to be their voice like model for training, and then she declined. And then later when the model came out, it sounded like exactly like her. So and then so she thought it was her. And then she's like, no,
she's not very happy about this, and she's making a lawsuit against OpenAI with this. So it's not copying a painting, but it's worse. It's copying the voice of Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
So it's exactly the same thing. So this is a very large problem. I remember I was trying to find the information. I remember that Bill Gates has the rights for thousands and thousands and thousands of pictures, very, very important pictures of whatever it is, for the digital rights. So you say if someone copies a painting to train an artificial intelligence, and then you go to DALI and you make a request, and it seems to be a Van Gogh frame. So Bill Gates is the owner of a lot of the most important paintings in the history, but only for the digital world. So this guy has been buying for many, many years a very large digital library that is 2000, but this is an all. What I'm looking at is an all new. I'm not finding the actual information. but he owns thousands and thousands of. So the one that will be suing the companies will be Bill Gates, because he's the owner of the digital rights for the paintings. Comments on this, Yash? You're so quiet today.
These are some just fast times in AI, and changes are just you blink and you miss.
So Yash, are you on Facebook or on Instagram?
I do not use them too much, but yeah, occasionally I do use Instagram, but not too much.
So are you ready
Don't like-
are you ready for the new pop-up that is coming to Instagram any day?
I'm not sure I've heard about that.
You are not aware of what I'm talking. Maybe Vedant is smiling and knows what I'm talking about. No? Manas?
No, I'm not sure.
Manas? Ryan,
No, I don't know.
you're an informed guy. What is going to happen with Instagram and Facebook at any moment regarding this?
Oh.
Oh, you need a tip.
That's interesting.
You need a guidance tip. So guys, Meta is ready to send all the users in the world of Facebook and Instagram, and we are talking about 3,000 million users, a pop-up saying that if you don't leave us to use your pictures in our AI for training, then you have to start paying to our services. This is going to happen in no time. This is ready. So they say that they are going to do this, and the government of US and also the European government and many others in the world are saying, stop. You don't have the rights to use the user contents for training your AI. If you want to pay your users, it's a problem. Maybe your users leave and go to TikTok, but they are going to say this. We're having very strange moments, curious moments, and when people ask about this, I say, don't care about that. At the moment you share a picture, your picture is owned by everyone, not by you. I mean, at any moment and in any network, it can be LinkedIn that just uses for showing their things. It's exactly the same. So at the moment you just leave the image open in a URL or a service that anyone can have access, you have lost the rights, and you don't know in what artificial intelligence or database is going to appear in the future. So guys, it's been a very nice talk. We are 1 hour and a half, and I think it's very late here in India. What time is it now? 10?
It's 10.
So we started
Almost 10.
8:30. It's 10. 1.5 hours. That's too much. But I think we have a very nice conversations today. As always, thank you very much for coming and sharing your ideas. Thank you very much for Ryan to wake up with us early morning, and we will have soon other meets. I think we have, I don't remember, we have a 5th meet talking about something this week, and also we will have another GSoCquers later in the month. So guys, thank you very much for coming. See you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Good. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.